Hello, hello. I'm Megan.
I'm Matt.
And you're watching The Night Owl. Happy Friday, everybody.
All right, we made it Friday.
We made it. It feels like it took forever to get to Friday, but at the same time, it's not too bad.
Not too bad.
And our cat, Wednesday, I'm going to turn the camera. She's really upset because Matt sat in her seat, but that's okay. She steals our seats all the time. She's our producer, so she's watching us.
She's watching.
So happy Friday, everybody. If you're new, welcome. I'm Megan and he's Matt, and you're watching The Night Owl, an all-inclusive podcast that talks about music, art, and life, and everything in between. And if you are a regular, welcome back. How are you? How are you doing?
How are you doing? It's Friday.
Yeah.
How many times are you going to say that it's Friday?
I don't know, because, we work during the week, and Matthew works more than I do during the week, but we're always doing something, and when Thursday rolls around, I'm like, oh, tomorrow's Friday. We can do our podcast. Yeah! So I'm actually going to go on our Podbean right now. I did our Podbean live stream last Saturday. Actually, we did last Saturday. We usually do our live podcast every Friday, and then every other Saturday or Sunday we do our audio recording on our Anchor podcast, which can be found on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, all the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting for Pandora. I'm hoping that we can get on Pandora, because Pandora, people obviously still use it. I stopped using Pandora a while ago because I just didn't like their algorithm, because I didn't think that their algorithm was that good, because you would listen to one artist and then it would be like, oh, you might like this person, and it's like nothing like the artist you're listening to.
Yeah.
So I just started doing Apple, because iTunes, you just pay for a membership and you can download as many freaking songs as you want without any extra charges. So that's why us being on iTunes really helps with the algorithm, because it can it just is better at like finding that genre of what you're listening to. And Apple Podcasts is connected to the Apple Cloud, so even if you have just a laptop or an iPad or a iPhone, you can listen to it anywhere you want. So today is really nice. It definitely is a nicer day, beautiful day. It's still actually warm outside. It's 8:30 at night.
Yeah, it's still.
So it definitely is a lot better of a day, and everything's opening up again. I'm hoping all you out there, if you aren't getting vaccinated, just to stay safe and take your vitamins. If you think you're healthy enough, but still follow those guidelines. Wash your hands, stay 3 to 6 feet apart. And if you are getting your vaccine, Matthew, when he got his, he took ibuprofen or Advil beforehand, and he didn't have any pain.
About an hour.
Yeah, an hour before. Yeah, see, I didn't do any of that. I took mine after, and I faced the consequences. I was in so much pain, and I actually got mine like middle of the day, so I was already tired. And then when I got home, I was even more tired, and it hurt a lot. So my next shot is in the morning in a few days, and I'm going to take the Advil beforehand, and then I'm going to eat and drink lots of water, drink some aloe juice, and I should feel a lot better.
I think you'll do better with it.
Yeah, so let's take our shot. Here's yours. Cheers.
Cheers.
Pineapple juice and tequila. So, So we wanted to tell you guys we're happy that you are tuning in and you're here with us. We are more than excited to read more emails if you guys want to send us some. We had some pretty good ones last week.
I thought so too. Yeah, keep them coming. We're always reading and interesting, and yeah.
Yeah, we're both wearing black today.
Both wearing black.
Interesting. Yeah, I have a horsey. This actually used to be my mom's shirt, so vintage all the way, baby. And I'm feeling a little majestic, just like this horse.
Like a horse.
So for me, Matthew, I think the universe has been in my favor. I've been recently working on new projects that have been going into fruition and working with other female artists, which is really cool. For me, like, I identify as she, but I don't mind if someone says they, them. I just feel like for me, it's like, I'm human. I'm just Megan. Like, that's just how I am. The older I get, the more I feel like that. But there's something about working with the queer community, LGBTQ, and female artists that really makes me feel good and makes me feel inspired, because I think something that's curated by females or by people in the LGBTQ community, it's unlike anything else. And I think that being able to collaborate with other artists makes me feel good. I am a team player. I think it's harder to create something when you don't know all the gears and all the controls and what to do. And when you work with people that do things you can't do, it makes the project even more fun. So hopefully in the future, I can kind of let you guys in on some things that I might be doing. But my thing is that I usually just kind of keep everything in because, there's a cat. Because I feel like the more I talk about it, the more the less important it is to, like, I feel like to other people, it sounds cool. But for me, it's more important when I just keep it between me and the other artists, and then post photos and post the finished work. But yeah, if you guys out there are working with other people, whether it be an art job, art project, or something for tech or something for business, like, play fair and really enhance other people's strengths and let them enhance your strengths, and do something for you and for them, but don't expect something from people that is impossible, or just kind of go into it with an open mind. So that's kind of the information I have for you guys, little tidbit. But I thought it was funny because we just learned that my mom, she actually called my Matt today and said that she ran into one of his teachers from school. So I thought that was kind of funny, because, like, what are the chances that his teacher or dean, you said it, I guess, of your school, ran into my mom, and the fact that we're married? I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, how you meet someone and then you both know the same person, and you would never know that you would know the same person. It's kind of like that.
It was shows you that it's a very small world. And then it was very interesting that this person, where they identified as far as being in the middle of the state here, and then your mom having the wherewithal to even call out the very tiny little town that I'm from in Western Illinois.
Yeah.
Who in their right mind would know where that is or what town that is. And
a lot of people have no idea where you're from. They have when I tell them where you're from, they're like, I've never heard of it.
This person did, because he was in the school district there, and he was he was an educator there in that school, in small world.
Yeah, so I thought that was really funny. She was like, "How do you know Matt?" And she goes, "Oh, he's my son-in-law." I mean, he could have ran into anyone at her work, and it was her. So I thought that was kind of cute. And I also like when my mom and Matt kind of interact, because I tell her to call him more often so she doesn't have to call me as much. The topics I have to share, they're a little bit more like friendly and fun, because I know that we've talked about some pretty hard stuff the last time. So this one's going to be about animals. So it'll be in our life section of our podcast, or maybe the in-between. The first one I have to share with you guys, I'm going to actually show you the article so you can see it. So this one, 1,000 cats released from shelter to tackle Chicago rat problem. So I thought this was really interesting, because Chicago really had an issue with rats. We still do. We've always had issues. If you live in Chicago, you'll see those signs that say wanted, and they'll have a rat on there, and then it'll tell you, like, please pick up your dog's poop, because the poop is the rats are attracted to whatever's in the poop, and then we have a rat problem, right? So in our neighborhood, we have cats that are either feral or like outdoor cats. And I call them like my friends now, because I've seen them more than 5 times. And some of them have collars, so I know those aren't the feral ones.
Yeah.
But there are cats that are just like randomly out there that I don't see again. Like, I'll see them one time and I don't see them again. And this isn't just here, but in other parts of the city when I was living here my entire time. I think that they were actually there to eat the rats, or kill the rats, and figure out how to kind of decrease the rat population in Chicago. People are so bad with picking up poop here. It's like really bad. So it says the city of Chicago has a rat problem, a big one. And the Treehouse Humane Society thinks they have a solution. Now, the Treehouse Humane Society used to start out as a cafe. It's like a cat cafe in Chicago. And it was either in Humboldt Park or Ukrainian Village. And then they kind of started to become like a non-for-profit thing. So people would donate, and then they would help rescue cats off the street and, give them their vaccines and help them out. So they're one of the people that are going to be involved in this. The Humane Society's Cats at Work program is being used to combat the massive rodent issue in what they are calling an environmentally friendly feline solution. Since 2012, the program has released 1,000 feral cats into the city for rat control. Now that makes a lot of sense, because I told you, all the time I've lived here, I've seen cats running around.
Yeah, but it's never been, it's just a cat here or there.
Yeah, this is probably all in one area.
Overrun. Well, they say since 2012, I would say.
They've probably been growing up doing this.
Steadily releasing cats here and there.
Oh my God, could you imagine the young ones starting out? Like, this is my first day, and then the old ones are like, yeah, I've seen some shit, man. They're new to the force, the cat force. The cats are humanely caught and then spayed and neutered before they are released into the area. So they don't want them having babies.
No.
That are experiencing a problem. So it seems to be a win-win solution for the stray cat and rodent population that is seemingly spiraling out of control. Another picture here, famous presidential cats. So last year, the folks at Orkin Pest Control, we've seen all those commercials, right? Published their annual list of rattiest cities, and Chicago was at the top of the heap for the 6th straight year. That's not something to be proud about.
We got a lot of rats.
Not exactly the honor the city wants to be known for. The Treehouse website explains the procedures being used by saying on their website, cats are placed 2 or 3 at a time into residential or commercial settings in order to provide environmentally friendly rodent control. Property and business owners provide food, water, shelter, and wellness to the cats who work for them. I'm wondering if that's why our building was leaving food downstairs and for those cats, because there were cats going in and out of our building, and they would just hang out in the alley and then they would leave. So I'm wondering if that's why our building did that, especially in the wintertime. That's when they were leaving food. In most cases, our cats at work became beloved members of the family or team, and some even have their own Insta pages. Oh my God. That's awesome. And let's see if he loads. It's a black and white cat, and I know I've seen a black and white cat around. Although the cats don't typically eat many rats, they will usually kill a few when they first arrive in their new environment, because they're all excited about it. After this, the rats tend to avoid the cat's area. They're like, well, fuck this. I heard that my cousin got killed.
Just takes a few. Yeah.
They're actually deterring them with their pheromones. That's enough to keep the rats away. Interesting. I thought that was interesting that the Treehouse Society is doing this, because they, they started out as just like a kind of they started out as like the first cafe with cats. And the cats, I guess the whole point of it was that you go in, you have your coffee, like a regular cafe, and then you adopt a cat. Like, because the cats there are adoptable, and that's how they would be able to get the cats a new home. And then there are some that were there that were like residents. They would just live there. But what do you think about that? Did you know something that was kind of something that they were doing?
I didn't know they did that. I didn't realize they were releasing cats as kind of a natural remedy for the rat population. It's not the first time that we've used nature against nature to try to control a problem. Although history would tell us it doesn't always go well when we try to do things like that. It's why we have, lady beetles and multiflora rose all over the place, and a variety of other species that have taken over because we thought, well, we could bring them over to cure this population. You know, they brought in hawks before to do the bird population. So yeah, why not a few cats? I know like the city of Baltimore, they actually had a cat problem. They had too many cats. So they had a catch and release program where they were catching similar here, where they were just spaying and neutering cats, but then they would let them go back out. So that they just want to stay in a shelter somewhere.
I think it's kind of cool though, because they like are already feral, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, well, let's just make sure you don't get sick and you don't have babies and you go out there and do your job. But at least that they take care of them. And then they're like, okay, you're feral, we can't really keep you. But I think that's what those feral cats were probably already doing. It's just now they have a team, right? Now I'm sure that they said that they release 1 to 3 in certain neighborhoods that need it. So I think that they probably do team up and they're like, hey, but I think it's cool that like all they have to do is really fuck up a rat or kill it for the rats to be like, yeah. They like the ones that survive, they're like, I'm not killing you because you have to tell the story. And then the rats go back and tell their friends like, we're not going over there anymore. I mean, I think it's great. And then obviously cats, yeah, they have pheromones. Like, why do you think they want you to pet their face all the time? Their pheromones are here. So it gets released into the air and, you know, if they poop outside, their poop is there too. So I think it's really great. And I think it's a safe way to do it. I know that we have a falcon that's here that kind of was dealing with the pigeon problem because maybe about 2 years ago, I started seeing more pigeons up north. And they usually would just be centralized downtown. So I think that the falcon was trying to kind of deter those pigeons away from the downtown area to where we live, apparently. Because
the city brought in. They've been known to bring in a falconer.
Yeah, they have a falconer and
release it.
There's actually a picture at one of a couple of the bus stops around here. If you live in Chicago, there's a picture of Warren Park with 2 guys playing chess, and one of the guys is a falconer. He has a falcon right next to him, and he has the helmet on, and then it's attached to the guy, and they're playing chess, like just hanging out. So, I mean, I'm sure they get paid pretty well by the city. It's probably his bird. And they're like, hey, we're going to pay you to use your bird to kind of like do, and when they're actually really close with the owner, they have a bond, so they come back. They never like fly away. Did you have a topic you wanted to talk about?
You know, I thought maybe in the same, keep it going positive here, right? I see, I think it was last week, Illinois is about ready to pass a bill that would prohibit Illinois schools from applying dress codes to hairstyles.
Oh, good. Yeah, about time, right?
So long hair, wear what you want, be what you want to be, wear short hair, wear whatever. It should not matter. I just, think things like that were silly to begin with. And
they were. For me, like as a stylist, I mean, I've done hair on many people where they have to wear their hair a certain way. And mind you, having nothing to do with my ethnicity or where I come from, I mean, I've done hair on all different types of people. And I just don't think it's fair that schools and certain businesses do not hire or keep people on because of the way that they wear their hair. And there have even been kids that had to wear their hair a certain way. I remember an owner of a salon that I worked at, her kid grew his hair out his whole life. Like by the time he was 14, his hair was like down to here. Beautiful curly hair. He was a black kid, right? I know you remember him. And he had to cut his hair short because he had recently been going to a very special school for like kids who are very bright. And so he had to cut his hair short. 14. He wore his hair long for 14 years. He wore his hair out for 14 years. And he had to get it cut. So lucky for him, his mom cut it. And what he said to me was, like, I told him, I was like, are you upset? Aren't you upset about this? And he's like, you know what? I can donate it. There's women out there that need it, that have cancer. There's people out there that need it, you know, that have cancer or that really need this hair. I'm just going to donate it. And I got to grow up. And I'm like, oh, Like, you're so smart, you know, like you're so good.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been so mad. And so I'm kind of glad that that's changing now. What is it? Is it like a bill, or is it just like a law?
No, it'll be
everywhere?
basically, prohibit schools from.
So all schools, like Catholic schools too, or
I
just
would probably
public
say
schools?
it's just going to be probably public schools.
Okay,
right
so
now,
maybe not charter schools.
No.
They have too much money to throw around, right? They're like, oh, we don't need it. We have tons of money. But like, if, you know, email us, let us know, comment below if you guys have any children or any friends that had, you know, lost their job or like got kicked out of school, or maybe were told to change their hair a certain way so they could go to the school, because
It is amazing.
apparently their brains are not.
2021, we still have to take offense to certain hairstyles and be told, I mean, it's hair. I mean, really, you know, you can't wear that. That won't wear on TV. You know, you have to all look like this. And
yeah, we're not a communist country. This is America. We should be able to do whatever we want within reason. I mean, obviously the dress code I can see, but your hair and your makeup, I mean, you can't take away that stuff from kids and people. That's their freedom of expression, right? So I think that it's very important to be able to let people express themselves that way, so they don't hate where they go, hate going to school every day. Like, it's one more thing that a kid has to worry about, you know, besides cyberbullying.
I mean,
like,
school's tough enough.
School's tough enough. Like, let them, you know, obviously especially if it's public schools and I'm assuming they don't have a uniform. I don't know if our schools here in Chicago, if you wear a uniform for Chicago public schools. I know the CEO of Chicago Public Schools did step down, so she's passing the torch to someone new. So I'll probably read up on that and do that for our recording, because I think that's very interesting. I mean, they've been through hell and back, that those teachers in the schools ever since Rahm Emanuel was mayor. I mean, we've had a lot of, you know, a lot of stuff that's happened with those teachers. And I keep hearing kind of some backlash with like, oh, well, once the schools open up, they're going to go on strike again. The teacher's going to go on strike again. And I'm like, yeah, if you guys fuck it up. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I have different varying opinions with CPS school teachers. So.
What's your opinion? You can be honest.
No, I think at times they always have the right, but you know, they should have gone back to school. I mean, every other school was. They held out. I don't understand. Too long. They say they do it for the kids. Yeah.
They want more money, or they don't. Yeah.
They want to stay home.
Yeah.
They want more money. They make more money than any other teachers in this state and a lot of other major metropolitan areas. Mm-hmm. And I get it. There's a lot of kids in public school can be rough, but
but you chose to be a teacher.
You chose to be a teacher. Yeah, it's not a 9-to-5 job. Too many of them want to make it.
And you get
9-to-5.
Summer off.
And they shouldn't. And that's just another topic, another day.
So that we should go to school 365 days a year.
School should be the breaks. I mean, you could get 2 to 3 months out in a year, but you shouldn't get 2 to 3 months at a time.
I don't think Martin Luther King Day should be a free day. I think kids should be in school for that, to learn. I think there's certain days of the year that they give you off.
I think it should be a year-round school, and you should get 2 weeks here or a week there. And
you're a goddamn dictator now.
Yeah,
all right.
My world,
at least give them 2 weeks of summer.
In my world, we're gonna make smart people.
Well, you grew up on a farm, so that's easy for you to say. You could have skipped school if you wanted to. You actually had something to do during the summertime.
Yeah, but that's the idea, right? You know, school should be fun.
That's why they gave the summer off for kids, because back then they had to go back to the farm.
Yeah, they had to go work.
So they really didn't have any time off. I mean, you went to school, and then it was like Little House on the Prairie. You went to school, you went home, and then you had summertime. You worked on the field with your parents, and that was it. But now, I mean, spring break should be shorter. I think there should be certain days of the year where they like give you off. That's so dumb. Like, I mean, give people Boxing Day or Flag Day off. Like, that's fine. Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, you should be in school. Like, you should be. There's no one's celebrating Martin Luther King when they have off. They're going and getting drunk or doing whatever.
It's a national holiday.
It's a national holiday of a person that we, kind of don't that white rappers reference in their songs, like they know him or something. I don't know. I went off on a tangent. Okay, but okay, so the next topic I have, you ready for this one? This one's scary.
All right.
Remember when we talked about killer hornets or killer bees? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was last year. If you guys are new, Matthew and I talked about killer hornets. So these killer hornets last year were like eating all of these other bees and they were killing them off. And I was really upset because we had already kind of lost the bee population.
No, they weren't. They saw them out in the west coming, but there ended up being, I think, a natural remedy to them.
Yeah. And then like there was this other animal that was like eating them.
The praying mantis.
The praying mantis, yeah.
Praying mantis.
And I was like, oh, because I remember doing
They're
two.
the murder hornets.
Yeah, murder hornets. So we did two episodes. So we did one about the murder hornets, and then the next one was about, they're dying now because the praying mantis wants to balance out the ecosystem, and she doesn't think that's right because the praying mantis says, well, I can kill my husband after I mate with him, but I'm going to kill these motherfuckers because they're killing bees. Even the praying mantis won't do that. She won't kill those bees. So this one is about zombie cicadas.
No, it's coming.
It says America is about to be overrun with zombie cicadas infected with a mind-controlling fungus that makes them trip balls. Yeah. So here's the picture of these motherfuckers. They look so gross.
They already look very alien-like.
Cicadas, all of them look like that. They all look crazy. So it says, after spending the chunk of a year largely cooped up in their homes, people around America are understandably amped to return to a state of relative normalcy as a pandemic seemingly starts to subdue and the summer inches closer. However, the wait is child's play compared to the trillions of cicadas on the verge of emerging from their underground layers where they've been bidding their time for the 17 years.
It's coming.
I knew they were coming, but I didn't know they were going to be zombies. Last summer, we got a tiny preview of what's in store with more than 1 million cicadas that make up what is known as Brood 9, took areas of the mid-Atlantic by storm. However, the squad is nothing on Brood X, a collection of trillions of bugs that haven't made an appearance since the world was trying to stop the spread of SARS and making it sure it would harness the lessons it learned to ensure we'd be more than equipped to deal with any similar respiratory disease that may arrive in the future. Thankfully, the bugs that have already begun to pop up in the southeast don't pose any real threat to humans, aside from being creepy as hell. I mean, I always forget when they come. Like, it's like they will never leave when they're here, right? It's a nightmare. And then I just forget about them forever. And then when they come back, I'm like, oh shit, they're back. Like, I don't even realize that they're
loud. What I noticed, especially when we were last living in Andersonville, is with so many of them, I mean, the birds, the sparrows,
they love them.
Nuts over them.
Oh, yeah.
They just tore them apart.
Yeah, and I just love when you see, like, the skins where they're, like, some of them are perfectly, like, intact because they just slide right out of them. And then some of them are just, like they just exploded because the guy couldn't wait it long enough. So he just burst out of his thing. And then
too soon, the birds will get you.
And then there's the ones that are dead, that are just on the tree dead because they've mated and then they just die. And I don't know if the males or the females are the ones that die, or if it's just one. I don't know which ones die.
No, they fly around and die.
Okay, so it's weird seeing the ones that don't make it out of the skin. They just die there. Especially when you consider many of them will find themselves dealing with a pandemic of their own, courtesy of a mind-controlling fungus capable of turning them into zombies. So not only will we have bugs, but they might be zombies. And anything that tries to kill them, apparently, tries to eat them. So we'll have zombie birds flying around.
Yeah, I guess zombie birds.
I mean, we already have little garbage birds in our backyard, so that's going to be fun. Yes, you read that right. Last year, a group of scientists published a paper concerning their investigation into a parasitic invader known as Massospora. While others had researched the fungus prior to that point, the team was the first to discover its ability to infiltrate the abdomen of male cicadas and use the spores that grow inside to control their motor functions with the help of psilocybin, which is in mushrooms, and other psychoactive chemicals it uses to facilitate its spread. So that's crazy. So if we eat a cicada, are we gonna get high? Once the host is successfully occupied, the fungus is able to manipulate the wings of the bugs in a way that mimics the mating rituals of their female counterparts. Oh no! Which lets them lure in more males who in turn allow the vicious cycle to proliferate. So they're like, hey, I'm a boy, but I'm doing girl wing stuff. And then the boy's like, oh, hey, girl. And then they turn into a zombie too. It's basically an STD, if you think about it, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Turns into a zombie.
If this sounds like something I've heard before, it may be because researchers discovered a similar fungus capable of creating zombie ants a couple of years ago. I did not know that. Thankfully, it doesn't pose a threat to humans. So we don't have anything to worry about aside from the fact that nature is more terrifying than we'll ever be able to comprehend. The end.
The end.
Good night, kids. I'm going to be dreaming about cicadas now, just like flying around. Yeah, they're going to be like falling apart. It's like, oh, God. Like the fact that a parasite can how does it know to mimic female mating? Like, how does it know that? How does the parasite know that? And it makes the males do that. Like, how does a parasite know to make the wings do that? I mean, where did the parasite come from? And why is it studying? Did it study the female cicadas?
Yeah, most parasites are, they infect, what parasite genus and species are usually associated with a specific kind of.
But why would it
host.
be a male though? Why wouldn't it just be a female cicada? I mean, wouldn't that be easier?
It probably has something to do with the ability for the parasite to transfer.
Yeah, maybe it can't do it with the females because of their chromosomes or something. Ay. I mean, it's crazy, man. I thought this was really interesting because we did the murder hornets. I thought zombie cicadas, only we won't really have to worry so much about that because it won't hurt us. We can still smash them with our feet. I mean, that's fine. But the zombie or the murder hornets, yeah, we had to worry about those if we were near them. But yeah, I thought that was really crazy. And I just wanted to bring some kind of humor and light to this because obviously our last one was about Pose, about Billy Porter, so you guys should definitely go on YouTube, check that out. We're the Night Owl Chicago on all platforms. I will probably put all of our links down in the comments so you guys can check us out. But yeah, if you guys are new, welcome. We love you, and please, you guys, for new and old listeners out there, please send us your emails, your stories. We love to read them. I get about 10 a month, and I try to read the oldest ones first and work my way up because I feel like that's the fairest thing to do. But yeah, I mean, post on our Facebook and check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Apple Podcasts for just a listening version while you're working or driving. And yeah, we love you guys. We hope you stay safe, stay happy, wear a goddamn mask, and get your shots.
Yeah.
I'm Megan.
I'm Matt.
And you're watching The Night Owl.
Calling me the Grim Reaper, Sim Seamer, man still rolling a beamer. Calling me the Grim Reaper, Sim Seamer, man still rolling a beamer.